Juliana para estimular os comentários do Otto. Então, não, eu vou tentar alguma coisa, olha, mas vocês fiquem à vontade para complementar se eu estiver omitindo, traduzindo. The second presentation by the indigenous leader was that basically what the Brazilian agriculture is selling poison foods abroad. That's not Brazil. What's being done in Brazil are things that were developed elsewhere, that were introduced here, and that don't really reflect what the true vocation of Brazilian society and the Brazilians are. And for the indigenous people, you're mentioning the question of matter and spirit. But for indigenous, that never was an issue because there is no difference. So the concept of sort of having the difference between mind and heart and spirit, that doesn't exist for them. That it's very sad to see Brazilians elect a president and then go around complaining about the political system because they were the ones that built that political system. So the question of the deeper values of getting of not importing models and things from outside, that the Brazilian houses now, he gave an example that a Brazilian house now, instead of having someone at the door, there's a machine to enter the house, a robot will answer you, the computer will answer you, so you're not really, there's the human experience is not present, and that a lot of people that are here are not really rooted here because they have passports and family in other countries, so if things get difficult, then you can zip off. So he would like you to take that message to your institution, your organization, and the groups with which you interact, that what's currently being done is not really what it reflects the values of the people that really are part of the land here. And then Juliano made a very interesting consideration about the reasons of this activity, that this village is being set up. I meant primarily that a lot of what's being done here is learning from the indigenous groups, and that several languages have already, just in the few days that this village has been here, several indigenous languages have already been lost to the world. So his question is, since you're in a major university, what's the space for the indigenous knowledge and presence and people in the international university system? É mais ou menos isso? Ou pode ser, né? Pode ser.
Well, what's the place? I mean, first off, thank you for the translation. I almost had the experience the first time I can understand Portuguese when he spoke. So there were a number of other dimensions that he also described that really resonated with me, and I will definitely take the message home, kind of from here. What is the place of indigenous practices and culture and community in major universities? Well, I'm not so sure, certainly not the appropriate one. So I think that's probably a right way of saying it, and there is, there's certainly a place kind of in the, a certain place kind of in the humanities and anthropology studies and so on, but it's more like kind of often it is degenerated being the object of the study rather than being the subject and the co-shaper of something. And for example, in the area of regenerative agriculture, is you just mentioned, kind of there is a lot to learn, and I think that's still that's still something that's to be developed. So, for example, at MIT, I mean, the only place that I'm a little more involved in, kind of the Community Innovators Lab, and that's where we do have a number of relationship to communities, particularly in the Latin American space, where we try to more develop like an equal level partnership with the communities of bringing students into these places, having them take longer immersion experiences, and then also bringing the practitioners from these communities to MIT for fellowships, and we do that in a number of cases. So it does require a lot of attention and explaining to other. That's not always easy, but it happens on a small scale. Does it happen on the scale really necessary? I don't think so. And in fact, my own aspiration really is probably, I mean, one way to describe that is for the movement that we now see taking shape in many places of the world, here, but also many other places. I think we need a set of practices. We need places